Welcome to Odyssey Forms Staff Training. Yay! Our very first form specialized module for Odyssey staff. First thing that's going to be worth your time to do, or anybody else's time to do if you're preparing them to be involved with forms, is get familiar with Microsoft Word. And there are still a lot of people out there that use WordPerfect or don't use word processing systems at all, or just don't like Microsoft. Odyssey uses your desktop version of Microsoft Word. So whatever settings you have on your personal version of Word, when you open Word on its own, that's what Odyssey will use. So you have some flexibility and control over that, but you also have then the responsibility to make sure that you have your settings set properly to work with Odyssey. This part, resetting your normal template, is going to save you a lot of headaches. The internal forms work group, I cannot tell you the untold hours that went into the discussions about font and font size and spacing. Just trust me, this horse has been beaten to death, resurrected, and burned at the stake. Georgia font, 11 point, single space, that's the standard for all of the statewide forms. And the big goal with Odyssey is consistent look and feel, so it can be more jarring than you would think it would be for some people to see the switch from Calibri or Arial or Times New Roman or whatever your old forms have been in and whatever you're used to using, but this is what the statewide forms use. Georgia font was specifically selected. It does drop numbers down a little bit, but that was part of the selling point for Georgia font. It can be very distracting to people at first. You get used to it. It makes it a lot easier to tell when you're looking at a string of numbers and letters. Makes it a lot easier to see what's a number and what's a letter. But it looks kind of weird to people for a while. But to save yourself having to reformat everything that you do, you can go into your Microsoft normal template and reset the settings to accommodate these decisions, so that anytime you open a new document, whether it's in Odyssey or on your desktop, you're going to default to this. You can always change this back for a particular document that you're doing, but you can set Word to default to these settings. It's in your Home tab, and this is all for Word 10, so if anybody's on Word 7, your settings may be a little bit different, but I think everybody is on 10 at this point. So in your Home tab, over here you've got Normal. You right-click on that Normal box. You see an option to modify. Click on Modify, and you'll get a whole big window of settings that you can designate whatever you want about your forms. The one thing that irks me about Word, that I don't know why they did this, but Word 7, I think, was the first time they did it, was they inserted a space after every paragraph. You actually can stop that from happening in here. It's in the same window. So you reset your format to Georgia, your size to 11. This is your single space option. And then down on the bottom of that same window, you see these radio buttons. You can set it only for this document. You want to set here for new documents based on this template. So anything that you open in the future is going to open with the right formatting, so you don't have to worry about it every time you build a form. And then down under that radio button, you've got a format drop list. If you click on that, you see the paragraph. The little window that opens there has a checkbox to not add a space after each paragraph.
Are you changing the line spacing to single?
We're changing it to single space.
Okay.
And this is just what it will default to. So again, any particular section of a particular document, you can always change manually, but this is just how your new documents will open. All right, the next thing you're going to need to do if you're building forms is you need the developer ribbon. The developer ribbon is where your checkbox is. Developer ribbon is not normally open in standard issue Word. You have to go get it. So again, in Word 10, which you're all on, go to the File tab on the top of the page, go down to the bottom and click Options, and click Customize Ribbon. On the right side of the window that opens, you've got this long list of stuff over here. Check the developer box, and then you can close that, and you should see the developer ribbon at the end of your tab on the top of your screen. Click on the developer tab. you get this set of controls. There's the little section in that tab called controls. If you're gonna be building a form, make sure your design mode is selected, otherwise it's gonna make the pieces operative, and you wanna be able to click and drag. It's a fairly minor thing, and for most of what we do, it's not a big deal, but it can be frustrating if you forget to turn that on and you're trying to drag a box around and it just keeps checking. So in your controls group, you've got this little folder with tools on it. My suggestion is add this to your quick access toolbar. I think if you right click, you can add this to your quick access toolbar. That will put it right up on the top of your page, and it's always there. This is the checkbox that you use. Never, never, never use the ActiveX controls on the bottom of this screen. These are a security risk. You won't be able to actually operate them, and it will break your forms. Something about the way Microsoft Word operates ActiveX controls, the system reads it the same as it reads a virus coming from the internet, so it gets blocked. This will break your forms, and everybody will hate you and call you names. Use the legacy form section on top. It's a shorter list, but this checkbox works. If you don't like the gray shading that defaults on those checkboxes, check this little shaded A. It doesn't really matter. It's a setting that will set on the form for your instance of that form, but on everybody else's system, when it opens as a gray checkbox. It does not print gray shaded, by the way. It shows up gray so that the checkboxes are obvious, but it does not print the shading. Angie.
Okay, so I checked developer and then you lost me. So
Me too.
can you just back up for
Sure.
one brief
So you
second?
check developer. Do you
Yep.
see the developer on your ribbon?
Yep, got
Okay,
it.
click developer,
Because
and
you gotta go
to
to
open that ribbon.
Oh, I thought that she said open.
That's perfect, thank you so
Okay.
much.
And there's the control section.
Mhm.
That'll have design mode, and then this little folder with tools.
Yes.
And there's your, if you click on the arrow by the folder, you should get your checkboxes. Everybody got it? You got your developer ribbons? Okay. This is unfortunately something that you're gonna have to do anytime you've got a new computer, or you update Word, or you've got somebody new coming in on this process, because developer is not normally turned on.